Did I do that right? No, I very much did not do that right. Oh no, I might be flooding my city here, guys, and not even knowing it. Hey guys, Wheatywaffle here today, and we are back in City Skylines 2 playing our beautifully growing city of Second City. And today we've got three main goals. We're going to be building some trains, we're going to be building some buses, and we're going to be dealing with the cell tower issue. Our people are getting a little upset. They have -2 happiness because of unreliable internet service. Let's start by building out some brand new radio masts. Radio masts transmit mobile data, radio traffic, and TV signals. In case of emergencies, the masts are used to broadcast an alarm which allows citizens to react to events more rapidly. Can be upgraded with a wireless network antenna and increased bandwidth. Costs $25,000 to build and only $5,000 a month to upkeep. I guess 2 would probably be enough for where we are right now. I'm thinking the first one, if we look at the landscape here, it's gonna need access to a road. I was thinking one could go here, but that might not work with these both being highways. So why don't we place the first one over here, actually over here right around this roundabout. Let's place this right here. It'll give some coverage to parts of the city. And then the second one I think could go maybe over here behind the high school. It's not going to give perfect coverage to everyone. However, it will give enough. Or you know what, better yet, we could place it facing into this water collection area. Wouldn't it be great to live next to, but actually, this is perfect enough for me. We're doing it. All right, we've now got 2 cell towers. So if we look at our cell coverage, we can see that we've got decent enough telecom coverage for now. If I were to want to do one of these upgrades, what would they be? Bandwidth increase enhances the network significantly and allows it to handle much more traffic. $8,100 to build with $1,500 a month upkeep, or an antenna extension increases the network coverage area. I kind of think we do both on this cell tower. Let's go ahead and give this upgrade here. So we increase the area of coverage, which basically addresses the issue with these not being long enough or tall enough. And then let's also give it the upgrade for bandwidth increase. That way, everyone has far more connectivity. But now we've got some coverage for communications, dealing with one of the complaints our citizens had. And then I think before we dive right into our transportation, I do want to come over here and do a bit of upgrading. We unlocked, I believe in the last part, the high density businesses. I don't think we've unlocked high density office just yet, but I think we could go ahead and do a little bit of upgrading to some of the areas surrounding kind of our central downtown right here. In what neighborhood is this? I guess mainly Horsham Flats and a little bit of Longview. I kind of want to take this outer block here and make some upgrades to that area as well as this area here. There are also some smaller residential buildings that I want to upgrade and turn them into, let's see if there's some more. I thought there was more just like little houses. I want to turn these into row homes, just because I don't think we need to have so many single family homes in this area. And actually, now that I say that, let's turn all of this here into medium density and expand over into Dickinson Narrows as well. So now all of this is going to be able to upgrade into row homes. And then let's do a little bit of addressing of the high density and of our commercial. So for high density, I think we could get away with turning can I turn this strip into high density? Will that actually give me a building? It'll give me 2. Oh, I love that. Okay, so we're gonna get 2 high density buildings there. And then let's also add in just a little bit of high density commercial. This will be our first high density commercial in the city. I think we could go ahead and expand over to this area. We've got 2 or 3 low density commercial buildings there. And while we're at it, let's also consider making an expansion here. I think we change out these row homes into NA mixed use housing. We're just going to slap that down right on top of what's already there. Over time, that's going to change, and we'll get a few more buildings here to continue building out our kind of main downtown. And soon, I think we're going to have to get rid of this colossal ore because I want to start expanding, I guess, north east. Let's go ahead and look into trains. In between parts, I went ahead and unlocked the trains. It was only one upgrade point. And so now the first thing we're going to have to do is build out our rail yard. I spent some time looking at the map in between parts, and I think the best place for us to put the rail yard is going to be right here next to Orson Farms. Now, we'll first need to kind of flatten some of this land, and I'm going to take this central bit here and just kind of flatten around this and slap down our brand new train station. So this costs $150,000 to build with $15,000 a month upkeep before wages. So it is a bit expensive. However, I think once we place this, we can put it right up against the edge almost perfectly. We're going to need to have an access road. So let's grab a 2-lane road. We're going to send it straight along, and then we're going to curve it. Actually, first we'll go straight, and then we'll curve it into this neighboring road here. So it's connecting into Florence Street. And then I think I want to have a way to turn around. So let's actually bring it a little bit further forward. And then we'll put in a roundabout. Can I fit a medium by chance? Technically no, because it's running into this side of the building, but I'm going to anarchy this in here only because it's not actually interfering with anything. Now there's a little bit of parking there, but I wouldn't mind having a touch of parking along the road itself. I think a modest parking lot could be good, or maybe one a little bit bigger. Maybe we do a small parking lot. We could place the parking lot overlapping. It's really not though. Like that's incorrect. So we're going to anarchy that parking lot in here. And then I think we'll also grab a little road here, throw on anarchy because it's acting some kind of way. Let's send this alleyway straight on out. And then if I could connect, I guess that's pretty close to in the center. We'll get rid of this little additional nub here. Turn anarchy back off so I don't forget. We do need some more offices and some more commercial. So I think we're going to put offices all inside of this area here. Although it says it's actually a bad place for offices. So instead, let's do commercial. Is there any area here that's good for offices? That little one now seems to be decent enough. So now we have a bit of a commercial hub and a little bit of office next to our train lines. Now what we got to do is figure out how to get all this to connect. So I actually think it might be valuable to raise this land kind of all the way up to this side here of this road, Florence Street. And then I think we upgrade Florence Street so that it has a retaining wall along the side. It's going to give us this really ugly shadow that I'm not a fan of, but I think we need to have a retaining wall here so that we can use this space for our trains. And now we got to do the hard part, which is connecting all of these train lines together. So let's come over here and grab a double train track. I think this will be potentially what we send straight on out. So let's send this to here. And then let's do a 2-way train track. We'll send this up. Oh, well, actually I meant to curve it, but I guess we can curve it here. And then can we kind of curve this into a similar place? Maybe what we do is we start by bringing this up a little bit and then curving this up and in. This, I guess we could just curve in like so. And then similarly, if I wanted to come from about here and curve, ooh, what if we go from this one and we try to curve this into here? If I brought this out, see, we don't want that like turn symbol because that lets us know that we're not actually able to go as far as we think we are. What if we turn all this off and we give ourselves a little bit of a windy path for now? I'm fine with that. And this might all change as we keep upgrading and expanding, but for now this will have to do. And we'll send that into there. Okay, so now all of the train lines are facing the same direction. So I think what I want to do is I want to send this train line up and across this road over the river. And then these buildings here were all placed relatively recently or zoned relatively recently because we had to upgrade Robbins Avenue when we built our highway. And so because of that, they're not really that high of a level. They're all currently level 2. I think we send our train line right on through here. and then we send it right over the highway and bring it along the backside here of some of these high density buildings. We might end up having to lose a building or two. That's okay if that's the case. I think this whole area is going to change drastically once we get rid of this building here. It's employing 84 people, and it's just an ore building. So why don't we do this? I think before we build out the train line, let's get rid of that little section that we don't need anymore. We'll place down a new, oh, actually, this is right on top of some ore. Let's replace that with ore. I don't see why we wouldn't. And in fact, we could do both some ore here and we could do some coal. We'll do both. We'll expand to allow for 2 new industries in this area. All right, now with those there, this area here can be demolished. Sorry, everyone. We need this space. Get rid of that road entirely. I also think what I would like to do is delete Spring Street there. And let's send this road basically straight out. I don't know if it's going to be perfectly straight, but it'll be straight enough. We'll remove this section of Myrtle Street. I think these single family homes are going to have to go, and that's fine. I don't think that's a big deal. No one's sad about it. And we'll send this straight along and over to here. We might change it up a bit as we keep moving along, but for now this will be just fine. Remove all the houses that are not zonable. All of you are going to end up having to go anyway. So, sorry about it. Now let's try to get this train line moving. So, can I... Let's change the elevation step. Let's turn everything else here back on. We want to keep this at the 180. But can I place this so that it goes over top of this road? Like, why is this not working? There we go. Go to here. Okay, we can make this work. Perfect. So right here, it does go up a bit. It's not too terrible. And what we could also do is move it just really quickly and increase that section so it looks a bit smoother of a slope. Now, let's get this guy moving right along here. So we want to bring this over and bring it up along this side here. So I want to go to about here. I think it might be easier if I first build out just a straight section along the ground. With this area at the moment only being connected to the actual depot, I'm not too concerned about doing road level crossings. Because honestly, at the end of the day, they're only going to need to use this to send the vehicle out for the first time and then when the vehicle needs to be repaired. So I think we do road level crossings all through here. I am going to de-zone this section just because it's so small. It's even considered to be overlapping a part of the road over there, which then deleted a bunch of the rocks. I'm going to have to come back and fix the rock work. Now, because this is industrial, oh, actually, I can't even zone along these 2 edges here. So to that end, what we'll do is we'll put some trees. We'll make this look somewhat nice. Could I replace some of that industrial here? I could. I think we do. That way we don't lose too much business. And I think before we reconnect those 2 sections together, let's just get this over the highway, because this here is going to be the hardest part. Now, if I come down here and get a good look here, I would need to go pretty high up to get this to be able to cross over here. Like, it would need to go to here to cross over, which I don't necessarily want it to be that tall. Remove that section for the moment, because then I think we can lock onto that connection there. Let's try to build something that goes over top of all of these sections of road and see if we can make that happen first. That works right there. Now, are we doing this straight? This is like really hard to figure out if I'm doing this correctly. That would be the right way to do it, right there. Bam. All right. Pretty decent. Now, we just need to go from here to here. The question is, do we just come straight on down? That's a -8. Or, sorry guys, you're not going to be able to stay there for long. I apologize that you think you can live there, but you can't. Do we try to send this elevated rail line? Let's turn all of this off except for angle. We could go down to here, -1.8. And then if we connected back into this road here, it's -4.6%, but that doesn't seem too terrible. It also means we can fill in that side with some business, which I'm not mad about. Actually looks pretty good. Okay, so now let's get these two pieces connected, which this should be, he says, relatively easy. We've got a new bridge there. Loving that. It looks great. It's going to come straight on through. It is going to have to rise up a little bit so that we can cross over this highway. And I'm realizing this is actually starting to go back down. I'm not mad about that because we only have it raised to get over the highway. I don't need it raised forever. And in fact, I would prefer this to be on the ground as much as possible. Now we're back at 0. Anarchy is still off. Although it's... Okay, there we go. We're below 0.5. Happy. I'm happy. Then what we want to do is we want to send this over this direction because I have an idea of where I want this to go. Now the question becomes, do we actually say goodbye to all of this zoning for the moment? We can rebuild that road, but we can rebuild that road as a bridge. This small other road here, I'm fine if that is not a bridge. Let's send this straight along here so it'd be along... Oh, this is a road. That's not what I want. Let's send it straight along here so it's along the back of this zoning here. Although we do have this central area, but I don't think we can curve into that easily. So we're going to go right here. Then here, we'll use our curve tool. Turn everything off except for angle and guidelines. I guess this is really like a very tight, small turn. Not a bad thing though. Okay, so now we've got a train line coming along this way. And here's what I think we do to start. I think we have a train station that's over here at the base of Boulder Hill. And then we send the train line straight on down. I want to have another train station over here in Elizabeth Crossing. I think Elizabeth Crossing, as cute as she is going to start seeing some density upgrades. But then we could also send another train line going this direction into a future downtown area that we're going to end up building. There's a barn over there. I never noticed that. And that's partially why we've left this area open, so that we can do this. So let's now figure this out. If I wanted a train station in this area, I think we'd want to remove these two roads. You still have two easy places to access, and with only 1,000 people over here and 2,000 people here with the other access roads there, I think we've got decent connections here. This is going to probably destroy a lot of these homes. So much so, I think we actually just go ahead and say, you cannot live here anymore. I'm sorry. I don't know how many residents that's going to impact. But this area is being redeveloped by the city. We just built some new high density houses. You'll get a house eventually, I promise. So we have a train station, which is the big one. That we know can't fit here. We have a local train station. Central station, we're not ready for that yet. Historic Central Station, again, too big. And then a French train station. This could fit a modestly sized yet rather ornamental train station that provides a railway connection for your citizens. It can be upgraded with 2 additional buildings, train platforms 3. So that's really what I'm looking for here is the train platforms. Because there's also the small train station, but this only has 2 train platforms. And the medium train station also only has 2 platforms. Because we can fit it, I'd say let's go for this train station right here. Oh, and I can't wait. I mean, imagine more rocks, but like it's going to look fantastic. We can then send these trains this direction. If I take this height and bring it right on through, do we think I could turn this into a bridged road and feed the trains underneath? I might have to go down slightly. I think it would be worth it. Let's back this all the way up. I think we could make this into something really beautiful. Let's go ahead and give these key walls, which we know we like way more because they look way better. Ooh, but it's causing some issues. So key wall along here again. Key wall along here just to keep that zoning where we want it. Key wall along here. That didn't make too much of an issue there. Perfect. We need to upgrade this road. It needs to become a bridge. Look at all the people. I'm obsessed. And then what I want to try to do is figure out if we can sneak this underneath. So if we lower down, we want to shift the terrain. That's way too much. Let's reduce the strength down to 30. Raise that up a little bit. I think if we take maybe this level, that should be more than enough space to get underneath. And if we go from here to here, we can get a nice gradient. Let's grab this height and go from here to here. And have that road going underneath, or these train tracks going underneath. Now, here's the moment of truth, because I don't actually know if that's going to work. I'd like to think it's going to work, but I don't know. All right, let's do a complex curve. So we can send it to here, then we can send it a bit too far out, and then we can send it underneath. How does that look in terms of height? It's actually the perfect height. Oh my gosh. All right, now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to figure out how to do this, because what I don't want an increase of 12. That's far too much. If we were to send this straight along the side of the road, then we were to curve it like so, 0.275% increase. Okay. We could then continue this straight along, maybe? Maybe not. Is it not gonna let me do this right over top? There we go. No, slope too steep. Okay, hold on. We've got to do more terraforming then. For some reason, it's saying the curve is too tight, even though it's really not. Oh, and now it really messed that up. Okay, back that up even further. We're still in curved mode. So if we began to turn this, I don't know why it's saying that doesn't work, but I think what we can do instead is we can send a road straight on across. That technically works. Slope is too steep. How is that even real though? Because it doesn't appear too steep. Okay. I think we remove the pavement. We build the train first. And then we come back and we can put the roads back. So let's get this curve kind of going along this back end here. Go along this back end here. I wonder if it's struggling because it's 2 train tracks it's having to cross, which may be too much. Do we need to keep these separate the whole time, I guess is the question. Because I don't actually know if that's necessary. And I will say, I think there's a better way to connect these together. Can I just go straight? It's a bit of a jarring, curve right there, but I think that just looks a bit nicer. I wonder if what we should do is, these are separate tracks for now, but do they become one track around this area? And do we just take one of these, give it that 180, give it a nice turn. This then would be merged into this track. If I brought this even further up, or maybe we'd merge it here. I wanted these to stay separate for the most part, but I think that might be a fool's errand. So let's send this up just a bit. And then from here, we can curve it in. It's a bit too far. Decent enough. We're going to continue sending this out this direction. And I want to have it block this entire intersection. So all three sides have to stop for this train track. Perfect. Then, actually, no, I was thinking it would go this way. Okay, hold on. That's not going to happen. We're learning this in real time. Let's undo this again. And instead, send this out this way like we had. But then at this point, we're going to send it forward. Do we just send it straight on through and then do our curve over? I'm thinking I want to have the Elizabeth Crossing station probably right about here, which means most of this here is going to have to change. But considering these cul-de-sacs are not anything special, that was kind of always going to be the plan. Let's move the fancy building. We'll move it into the heart of the downtown for the moment, this mansion. Or the downtown of, I guess, Briar Downs. And then I think we can come over here and say goodbye to all of these homes. As well as these two sets as well. Yeah. I think let's place down another train station first, and then we'll know what we want to do. Do we want to build out another one of these French train stations just because this is kind of, our original section, so they'll both have the same train stations? I don't hate it. Now, can we somehow curve these in a way that makes sense? I guess it'd be nice and slow at this point. So there's no reason we couldn't do this. I'm doing that double train track again, which I don't know if that's even necessary. But it gives us enough area to queue another track as well. So I think that's fine for now. We'll then just do one track coming over this direction. I feel like I keep rebuilding this exact same piece. Thank you for bearing with me as I do the same thing over and over again. I don't want these to get too close to the houses, which I think is part of the problem here, is that they're getting too close. I think to make this look good, we're going to want to have the crossing cross over like this. We'll then send one straight out this way, which will eventually feed into whatever happens over there. And then we'll also have one that comes off and begins to go this way and connects into this main area. Yes. That works as well. So that can then connect over and in, which is great. I don't think I love how tight that curve is, Do we think we can fix it? I mean, we're going to have to try because I just deleted it. I don't love this connection. We're coming back. It just is not, it's not doing what I want it to do. Like really what I want, I think. And don't tell me now this is overlapping objects. I'm anarchying you right in there. That is not acceptable. You built just fine without anarchy moments ago. We're not going to change our tune now. Same applies to you. Yeah, I would rather it be something like that, where it fades up and crosses over. There's going to be some trees, a few things down here just to kind of make that look a little bit nicer. We've got Elizabeth Crossing connected up to Boulder Hill train station. Now we got to get Boulder Hill connected up into the main connection here. I do think we have this straight line here. This could begin to go underground just enough to then reach over here. If we grab this height over here, this is positioned there. We put that height basically all along this section. It almost begins to match up with what we already have. So now what we can do is we can smooth out this central bit. We can upgrade these roads into bridged segments. This is going to want to be a larger turn. So let's clear out more space. Let's take this down to here. It should not be a bridge. That was my mistake. Excuse me. Turn that off. Take this down to here. Go ahead and give us a really nice curve overlapping object. Are you really overlapping the object? Or are you just getting finicky? I think you're just getting a little finicky. Because if I come out this far, you're not overlapping. Which, coincidentally, lines perfectly up with that section. It's just a bit tight right there. That just seems a little aggressive. But we're going to leave it. It's fine. You can go to here for sure. And then can you connect in? Maybe right under the bridge? I think you can. Now, before we go any further with trains, let's just go ahead and do a few pieces of road that I think will become meaningful to us in short order. I think all of this, frankly, can just be straight. I think that can be straight. Kind of fills out this other portion of Boulder Hill. I think it does also mean we can increase this pretty substantially and smooth out around the sides of this highway. Or the highway. Of this train track. All right, so now we've got a connection. Oh, this is very, very exciting. So, I think we say goodbye to this zoning here. We don't need it. And I don't want this train track to have this key wall on it. Man, I keep clicking all the wrong buttons. There we go. We only have 2 level crossings here. And then when we come over this way, we have another level crossing there. We will have a second level crossing here because I do intend to put this road back if it lets me. But I don't think that these roads are busy enough for that to be too big of a problem. We did lose 2 connections here at Boulder Hill, so we're going to have to watch these intersections. But we gained this access from Robbins Ave, which I think is going to help feed that area. All right, let's set up our first train line. Passenger train line. For now, it's just going to go back and forth from here to here. And back again. Doesn't need to go anywhere else. It's going to transport people from Elizabeth Crossing all the way into the downtown portion of our city, which is phenomenal. Now, I think what I want to do while we let that get up and running, let's do a bit more upzoning here. We do need more commercial. So I think we could come along here. We've got some small houses here. These could become high density, although I don't know if there's really much demand for a 2x2 high density. Let's see if we can do... Ooh, Iron Press building. Books to nourish the mind and soul with luxury apartments on top. The bottom floor bookstore stocks everything from the ordinary to the esoteric. New signature building available. Great. I want to get this kind of area a bit higher density. So right here, we could place some more commercial or mixed use. I think that would work great. Right along this road, I think we could also do some more mixed use. I do want to have some dedicated commercial. So I'd say let's cut this block in half with high density commercial. And then let's fill the other half with high density residential. Or high density residential. Let's also grab some medium density residential and redo that block. As well as let's redo this whole block here. And then we're just going to leave that be. It's going to figure out its zoning on its own. Oh, but we're starting to get some really great looking buildings. I'm excited. I guess also we shouldn't leave this one block low density. So let's turn this into medium density also. And if I just come in here and remove what's already here, we could let some potentially larger buildings zone, which would be great as well. So now we're getting some more expansion here. We'll see what that does for our population. Is anybody riding on this train? At the moment, no. The train's looking really nice though. Wow. Got this beautiful yellow train. It does have to slow down to come uphill here, but that's okay. It's coming into the station. We got a new signature building, the Polaris Suites. Is anybody getting on? At the moment, it does not appear so. But if I click here and click this button, we can see there are a number of people working their way over to this train station. If I click on this one, number of people working their way over to this train station as well. So that is fantastic news. Now that we've got the train up and running, let's begin to think about busing, because that's something else we should also have. We're still making decent money, which is great. Service trade is costing us 10,000, which is going to tell me that we don't have enough power or we don't have enough water. Hold the phone. Water availability. Output 0. What happened to you? Water level is too low. The water level is remarkably low. When did that happen? We didn't build anything to impact this. Well, I think it's time we consider moving this to a new area. But the water level is getting very low. Look at that. It's actually disappearing. What happened to our water? I do have like this mod here. Right click to remove this water source. Stream, constant or variable rate. River, border river, water source has a constant level and controls water flowing into or out of its border. So you right click to designate the surface level elevation. Okay, let's go over here and see what would happen if I right clicked kind of like right about there. Right? I feel like that would be enough. And then we can place this down somewhere. Did I do that right? No. I very much did not do that right. How much water is that? Is that too much water? Or is that the right amount? Oh no, I might be flooding my city here, guys, and not even knowing it. I don't know what happened to the water, though. That's so strange. Then again, I say I might be flooding it, and that looks more than fine. We'll see if that can fix it. Yeah, all this used to be water, and now something happened to the water source that it stopped working. Did this water source stop working? That seems to be working fine. Huh. Not entirely sure. We're going to see if that can correct itself. In the meantime, let's check on our train. 2 pets are on it and 5 people. And if we come over here, we have 10 passengers waiting. Fantastic. So let's slow this puppy down and think about getting some bus service. because I think we're nearing 30,000 people. We're gonna need buses at some point soon. The bus depot, which fuels, maintains, and stores buses. Each vehicle stops by the depot at certain intervals to stay in running order. Can be upgraded with an extra garage and electric buses. 150,000 to build with 31,000 a month upkeep. Holy cow. Now, this building is going to need to have buses coming in and out over time. I know that I want to have this area kind of continue to upgrade and level up. So I don't necessarily want this to be too close to an area that could end up becoming residential. It could go over here and absorb some of the industrial we have. And actually, now that I say that, I don't know if it could. Or it could go along here, along Olive Street. It would only destroy 2 buildings there. It would give access for the buses to use this road or this road, which could be valuable. Or we could begin to maybe build out like this little section here instead and have the bus line or the bus depot kind of tucked away next to this highway, which I think could also be useful. Maybe what we do is we tuck the bus depot right in here. Actually, maybe we tuck it in like this. Don't connect to the side of the road. I want the back of this to be facing here. Yeah, like this. So the back of this is now against this road, which means we're going to need to have a road come along the front of it. And then I am going to use move it here because if I select this node of the road, I can go into the toolbox, set to terrain height to object height, and then I click on an object. And then if I right click and I set to object height and I click on this object, I thought it would fix this raised section, but it doesn't look like it will. But now what we can do is we can put a parking lot across the street, which I think would be valuable. We want to connect to the road for this. Medium might be too large. Although actually, I think medium might be perfect. Before we place the medium, I want to leave enough space to potentially place another building here. I'm not going to build it now. Oh, this is too big. So this can't fit here. What about another road maintenance depot? Also too big. All right, I don't think it's going to be possible to place another building over here. So for now, let's place the parking lot closer to the highway. Before we do that, we're going to level out this land around this area, just like so. Place down our parking lot right here. And we will put a lick of office right next to this building, just to give this a little bit of extra something. Now we've got people walking, and I'm not entirely sure where they're walking to. Like, who are you, sir? Huh? Jackie Parsons. You're unemployed, and you're walking over here to this building. Do you live here, Jackie Parsons? You do. Oh, we've got 2 people in the household, Jackie and Marcia. Okay, great. So now that we've got a bus depot, we can actually build out some buses. So let's figure out how that's going to look. So we have a train station here, and I think it could be useful to have a bus that passes by that train station. So let's start up here in Boulder Hill. We have a elementary school right here. I think I would want to stop near the elementary school. We could stop right here. You can cross over the road. We could then send the bus maybe down through this neighborhood. We could also stop at the bottom of this hill. Or stop, I guess, at the bottom of this hill, because we'll expand some residential over here. So it stops there as well. Comes down over this way. Right here we have the police station. We also have just a huge population dense center right here. So I think we could stop right here around all these buildings. It's relatively close to this elementary school. We have another school here. So I think we come along and we stop right here because we're about elementary school, and we have a high school here. We could then send... There's no way for the people taking this train to get over into the industrial area. So this bus could then come along here and stop near the industrial harbor or industrial sector. Can we turn out of here? We can. So maybe we'll come along this road and we'll stop right here. Maybe at the front portion of this road. Sending this bus all the way down and over. And it could stop here in Orson Farms before turning back around. Stopping over here. Coming back onto this highway. Coming over this direction. Stopping here, again, close to a high school. Right here. Close to an elementary school. Close to another elementary school. Could then stop maybe further up this road here. Servicing these people. Servicing this train station. Servicing the police station. Comes back over. And I think we would only need to stop maybe like here around the roundabout. Because then you could walk around to whatever section of this road you need to get into. All right, first bus. Let's look over here. Over to here. I want you to go this way, which we'll have to correct you so that you do that correctly. Come down this way through Melville. Come over this way into Warehouse Bend. Come over into Orson Farms. Come back around again into Melville. Over here into... I want you to go like this direction. Oh, you can't turn there. All right, delete that for now. We're going to force that to connect from this side. I don't know why you're refusing to go over that road. We'll fix that here in a second, and we'll connect this back up to here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that when it's coming down, it uses this bridge, and when it's going up, it also uses this bridge. And then over here, I forgot, I turned off any left-hand turns into this road. So I think on the way back, I'd rather this come down, stop directly in front of the high school, and then it could go from the high school over to this stop. These are a little close, but I'm fine with that. This stop can then just be deleted because we don't need this here, which also frees up parking along that part of Robinson's Ave. So there's our first line. It's coming all the way from Boulder Hill, kind of through the center of the city into Orson Farms. I could see having another line actually come from this area down this way, past some of these buildings, and maybe it just comes from the same stop here. We share this stop. We then bring the bus down this side of Boulder Hill, kind of servicing that whole neighborhood. You cross over. Right here, I believe, is a clinic, as well as this elementary school. So we stop here so you can get to both of those pretty easily. We then continue straight. We have this church that we could stop right in front of. You then come down this direction and you stop over here in Middle Peak. I think I want to put a large park back here. So we'll stop along this road closer to the elementary school. And then when we have the park, that'll make a little bit more sense. You'll come down this direction. I've totally missed connecting to this high school. I think we stop here because we're a bit closer to this train station. Then we come over here. You can stop by this elementary school. Then we're going to come back up. We'll come back over here to Middle Peak. We'll stop right next to that neighboring station. We'll move this back up and over, and we'll stop across from this church. Then we'll come straight along here. We'll stop next to the elementary school and the clinic. Come back up through here. We'll stop on the neighboring block, close to some of this business, close to this parking lot, close to this school, and then we can reconnect into here. Turn this into a different color. We're just going to go with green. We'll start here, come down this way. We'll go into Longview, go into Horsham Flats, come over this way into Middle Peak, stop in front of the, close enough to the train, stop by the high school or elementary school there, and then we're just going to kind of come right back up the way we came and reconnect in. So now we've got two lines. We've got one kind of shooting out and over, somewhat matching what you can do with the train, but reaching further into the city where people are not nearly as close to this Boulder Hill train station. And then we have another one that's coming down through this central area, coming over into Orson Farms. I think I would want to have one more that links this industrial area to the downtown as well. And I think that one could kind of go maybe in a curved pattern. So we could start over here, stop right here, and we'll also bring one over here to stop right here. I know it might be redundant. I want to do it anyway. We'll send you down this way. For now, we're not going to stop here, but we can change that later. We'll stop right here. Yeah, we'll send it over and stop here. Then send it this way so it stops near this high school. And then we could send it and have it match these stops here. I actually think I want to switch the orientation. I don't even know if we need these stops, to be honest. I think we get rid of these stops. And instead, we have two stops here. Yeah. Let's do this. Remove these two stops. Get rid of these two entirely. Come back over here. You're going to then loop over that way. That's totally fine. For our third bus route, let's do a really vibrant pink color. Okay. This one is going to come from here. Oh, I didn't do the returning route. Oops. It's going to go over to here. It'll hit this side of Willow Terrace. It's going to come down and stop inside of Briar Downs. Don't worry, we're going to fix the connections here. I am going to share this stop here. We're going to share this stop here. We're going to share this stop here. And then it's going to find a way to turn back around, which I actually don't want it to turn around in that way. So we'll send it around on our own and have it loop back in. It'll stop here. It will also stop here. And then it's going to end up back over here. But I think what I have to do first is add in the alternative stops. So it's going to come back here. Then we're going to cross back over into here. And I think what I want to do is I want to change this. I want to have these stops on this side. That way we're not cutting in and then having to cut back out. We can just stay along this road. It'll go along here and it will also stop here. Coming back up here. Stopping here. And then going back over. Okay, I think we've got this. So let's remove this connection. It automatically wants to go this way, which is great. Then this is going to loop back over. It comes down here, but then it decides to do this strange turn, which we don't want it to do. We want to take this connection and send it over to this alternate stop. Send this back over to this stop. Force them to take this road, which for some reason they seem so afraid of. I don't understand. And I would like you to use the roundabout. So let's have you guys go up this way so you can take the roundabout. That's a bit tight. You don't need to take the roundabout. You do. You come up around here, you do this roundabout. And I'm thinking, I actually want to move this. I want this to go here. So that way it can turn around in that little turnaround section. Okay, so now we've got 3 bus routes. So this one here is doing a bit of a C shape, but it's connecting this outer industrial area into Briar Downs, and it's connecting up into kind of the heart of the city. We've got this guy here, which is connecting from Boulder Hill and Willow Terrace area through the heart of the city, past some of the schools and the larger areas, and then it crosses over into Elizabeth Crossing. The benefit of this is that we're grabbing these people who don't live super close to either train station. And then we also have this other train line, or bus line, which is connecting from Boulder Hill through the heart of the city, going briefly into the industrial sector and over into Orson Farms. I just hit right click. Did I accidentally delete something? No. Great. Okay. Got people moving and grooving, which is fantastic. All right, let's do a bit more upzoning. This block here is medium density housing. I think we go ahead and change this to some high density housing. Actually, this is mixed use. That's new. We don't want to mess that up yet. Let's just upgrade some row homes into medium density, and then we'll keep going from there. So like all of this could become medium density. I think all of this could become medium density, as well as we'll leave that section alone, actually. Right here, we've got some businesses there. These are mixed use houses, it looks like, which actually turned out pretty nice. I'm not mad about that. Let's actually upgrade this section here too. We could turn this into, let's do some NA mixed use. Or not, what is this? This is UK medium density housing. Let's place a UK medium density in there and see what we get. I think we could also go ahead and begin to absorb some of this into our city. Into our medium density. Let's go ahead and give this some additional roads. I think having another road that crosses straight on through would be great. And then I think we just go ahead and we do this. We go bam, all through there. We go ahead and fill this section as well. In the meantime, let's just go ahead and get this area zoned down a little bit with some roads. And I think that might be where we end up calling it for today. So let's check here. It's relatively flat, all things considered. And I do think I would want to get some type of road that goes along this back edge. But before we do that, why don't we, with our money in the position it's in, why don't we go ahead and just buy an additional 2 tiles here? It costs $66,000 now with $20,000 a month upkeep. There wasn't much in terms of resources in this area, so it's perfect place for development. I think what I would want to do, I would want to bring this road, I think, straight on out to start, at least to here. And I guess we could even just connect these 2 roads right on up together. We've got an opportunity to do some pretty basic grid work here, which I think I'm going to do. And then I think I want to consider building out an actual cemetery before we go any further. So if I look at the cemetery here, the regular cemetery, it's $22,000 a month upkeep, but it has 5,000 capacity. And I think part of the problem we have is that we don't have any capacity with what we're currently doing. This area here is very flat. So I think we build our cemetery here, and then we plan around the cemetery. I think that's what we're going to do. Place our cemetery here, and this will kind of be our guide. We will first place a road straight on out like so. I think it's going to keep going straight on out. Think here, I actually want to recreate what we have here. This is how many across? 128. Let's do 128 across here. Send this out at the 90. Send this straight along to here. I know we're going uphill, but I'm okay with that. So that fills in kind of that hilly side. Again, here's going to be another highway entrance and exit. We got to upgrade this first on Aspen Highway. But then here, we currently have a pretty robust industrial zone that I don't want to mess with. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to send a road straight on out and over to kind of separate those 2 areas. Do we have any air pollution to be concerned about? We do. Let's also use the air pollution as another guide. So basically everything on this side can be built on. Everything over here we have to avoid. So with that in mind, I'm just going to slap down a bunch of roads. Let's see if we can make this happen. Okay, so now we've got 4 new districts here. We have Birdsong Heights, Evergreen Crossing, Hemlock End, and Autumn Ridge. I'm going to go ahead and just change all the names of those off camera. I did have to expand Wilmar just a little bit to encompass this section of our train line, as well as Mellonville. I expanded just a bit. Mellonville is such a strange little district, but we finally have, I think, addressed the death problem we were facing in the city, and we're starting to see some new buildings reach into the skies, which is really exciting. I think in the next part, what we're going to focus on is a bit more just general services. We need to make sure we got good education coverage. We need a college, which I think would look really nice, potentially in one of these areas or over here. Maybe this is the college and the university is over here. And then I think we're going to end up zoning out all of this and figuring out what the public transit for this area looks like. One thing I'm already thinking of, we have this train station here, but as we expand this way, we're going to want to have access going the other direction. So it might be valuable to maybe change up this little section and begin to have a train line go to the right, past through Hemlock End, through Evergreen Crossing, and head up this direction. But for now, I think that's where we're going to leave this part here. We were able to get our train station up and running. We've got buses moving. We've got a new cemetery. We've also got our river fixed, which is great, and did a bit of upzoning, which is fantastic. But for now, guys, I think that's where we're going to leave this part here. Leave your questions and feedback down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.